Gary Sheen always used to have this line about what's second prize? Congratulations, Aaron Noonan. We are going to get to sample.
Yes.
Someone came up with this great idea that
This
it would
is
be
not a good idea.
for the commentators to try. Leanne Tanner is going to kill me if I do anything wrong with this.
She will.
Slabs for the crew.
Yeah, so this is not in my contract. I don't trust you. I don't like you. I don't want to work with you. I don't want to share a car with you. And the last time I saw you on YouTube, the steering wheel came off in your hand. So this time, can you please make sure that the steering wheels are fixed? Take it steady and don't do anything stupid, okay?
What's not to like? This is going to be ace.
Whose idea was this? This is seriously the worst idea for television in motorsport that anyone's ever come up with, to let two commentators in a car. You to drive is probably better than me driving, actually, to be honest. That says a lot, really.
But we're going to get to sample a TCR car for the first time.
And you know what? It's starting to rain.
Captain Slow, off we go. Oh, I can engage the wipers.
Right, is that steering wheel on?
Steering wheel is on.
Good. You did put wets on, didn't you?
No, we are on slicks. Look at him. Will Brown is laughing at me. This is not good.
You ready?
No.
Can you please drive instead of him? I know you don't drive as well.
It's got slicks on. Oh, yeah, great. Slick tyres. It's just started raining. I've got you winding me.
You ready, Goons? Nah, let me out. Let me out.
We might push you back and put some wets on.
They're going to put wets on.
Let's put wets on.
They're going to put wets on.
Yes.
You know when a mate says to you, hey, you want to borrow my such and such, and you don't want to damage it, you want to hand it back nice, and that's what's going through my mind at the moment. I'm not religious, but help me, Tom Cruise.
40 Ks. Send it. Send it. Send it.
I got no idea what the grip is, brother. I'm driving like a grandma. There I go.
I'm actually really enjoying this because it's a great chance to
Hit this lap. We're done. In the words of a friend of mine, Aaron, cheated death again. We survived! We survived! Yes! Look at them all. They've been watching. Oh my God. That is fair income, one of the most nerve-wracking things. I was myself about giving Leanne back a straight car.
You reckon you were nervous?
I drove it like a granny. Return serve. He gets to take me next time.
Yes. And there's the good news. The car survived. It's on the grid here this weekend for Leanne Tanner to race. Hey, I know you were stressing, but you did a good job, mate. Well done.
Captain Serious. I think without being too self-indulgent, just for a moment to sample the car. I mean, it's been an awesome addition to the Australian motorsport landscape. Just to feel for a moment what it would be like. Can't get anywhere near what the likes of a Will Brown, a Dylan O'Keefe, a Russell Ingall are doing, because it requires special technique. And it's been the world's biggest stitch-up because everyone says I damaged Leanne's car, the differential. Let's forget that. Let's go to Cam.
I've got Alex Rello out of the car. Alex, tell us what's happened.
Was just driving out the pits and then, launched a drive shaft, so no drive, and, got towed back, so the boys are trying to put a new one in it, but, don't know if we'll make it out for this one, which is disappointing. Made some good inroads with the engine this weekend, but still struggling with setup, so it would have been good to try the setup we had in then.
All right, Alex, hard luck, mate. Other news from the lane, Will Brown's brake pedal went to the floor on the last lap. He only just got out and made it to the grid. They changed the pads in that car, so Will Brown just snuck through before pit exit closed.
And Cam Alexander-Whitley's V-Dub's another one that is not lining up out on the grid at the moment. So we've lost a couple of cars to get ready for this third and final race on board here with Will Brown in the I-30N. He starts from P10. How they finished the earlier race today is how they start this one. So it will be Dylan O'Keefe on pole position in the Alfa Romeo. Hope you're enjoying our coverage today here on SBS from Queensland Raceway. Round 4 of the series today. Jordan Mickles will be on board with in the Honda Civic Type R, and also John Martin with a range of the Hondas in the field. Let's have a look at the highlights if you missed race 2 earlier today. James Moffat and Alex Rouleau got together on the run to turn 1. They managed to get going. Molly Taylor, issues with the Subaru again with the turbo, but they did a good job to get her starting the race from pit lane. Will Brown, series leader, started deep in the pack and wasn't able to push his way through. Aaron Cameron got to the podium. He had to force his way through here on Jordan Cox, and he managed to keep on going. He put the fight up to Russell Ingall and went the long way around the outside of the Audi. Couldn't get by the two-time Bathurst 1000 winner. Back in the pack, Jordan Mickles, Kiwi rookie, fighting with Jason Bright, who's had a tough weekend in the Task Force V-Dub Golf. On the tail of the 10, Mickles finished 12th, Bright in 13th. Then Cameron put a move on Tony D'Alberto to get to third place. In the end, he came home for his second podium finish in TCR Australia. Leanne Tander, much stronger in the last race, made a little mistake. Door open for James Moffat. The Renault pounced. He finished 8th. Leanne finished 9th. Up front, though, Greg Rust, it was all Dylan O'Keefe. Win number 3 for him and the Alfa Romeo this year.
What a difference a round and a couple of states can make. It was a bit of a disappointed Dylan O'Keefe at the conclusion of things in Tailem Bend. He is right back in the game here and has put a solid haul of points towards his championship bid, while the man leading it, the man top of the ladder, has had some struggles. So we've seen a bit of that so far in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series as we look at how they finish that one and how they'll begin the final one of the weekend. Dylan O'Keefe from pole position. Great observation by Paul Morris just now in relation to Russell Ingall. If you were to dissect, as we ride with the Enforcer now, even the slightest little differences, what was it? Maybe the start could have been a fraction better for Russell. He'll be acutely aware of that, but his tyre management has been superb. Has the Enforcer got a win in him this afternoon? And O'Keefe really needs to bank good points here. Can't get involved in a panel bashing incident with one of the greats of the game. He's got to focus on the title in some respects, doesn't he? Even though a win would, and 50 points would be a huge benefit.
He's already done good work in the title fight situation. The margin between O'Keefe and Brown is now 78 points. It was 125 coming into this weekend, so he's got the chance here to make some more margin. Cars on the warm-up lap. Alex Rouleau's Astra out of the race in the pit lane. Alexandra Whitley has made its pit lane exit in the V-Dub Golf. Here is the driver we spoke of, Dylan O'Keefe. 2 race wins at Phillip Island, a race win today here at Queensland Raceway, and he has pole. Remember, race 3 in every round of our series is 50 points. It's 10 more than winning the other races, both the Saturday race and the earlier race today. So a little bit more mayonnaise in the salad and on the mix for this one. So this is actually the sort of race that Will Brown doesn't want to stay further back in the pack in, because there's more points on the line. And these are the races that O'Keefe's had his dramas in this year. So when he's lost points, he's lost bulk points.
On board with Jordan Cox here. He'll start out of grid position 5. Nice job in the swap between Honda and Alpha Equipment. He was with the Honda camp, of course, at Tailem Bend in South Australia, has joined the GRM crew for Queensland Raceway, and we know what the internet sensation is like in a front-wheel drive car. He is mighty, so getting some heat, some all-important heat into these tyres. Warmest round that we've been to.
A bit more news from the lane. We're down a Renault. Chris Pither's car is not going to start this race, so the ongoing dramas with car 33 would see the Kiwi not lining up. Tell you what, though, Alex Rouleau, that drive shaft in the Astra, they've sorted it at Kelly Racing.
Great work.
And he's made it to a pit lane start, so that's good stuff.
Line up behind the VW down there, so a couple of cars starting from the lane. Alex Whitley is there. We've just seen Jason Bright come through in the Task Force entry. So no doubt Russell will have spoken to the MPC team. Just maybe look for a little something off the start line. Can he match it with O'Keefe once we get going here? We know how pumped up Aaron Cameron is That VW is fast.
I reckon he's the guy to watch.
Danger
Aaron
man.
Cameron, yeah, he set some serious pace. The 19-year-old, he's the reigning K2Z karting champs, what I'm trying to say. He's achieved in all the cars he's driven. Can he make the jump? Turn 1, it awaits. Final race of the day. Queensland Raceway, round 3. Ingles made a good jump. Delberto's made a better one. Second row of the grid, the Honda will make it 3 wide on the run down at turn number 1. Ingles in the middle. Delberto going the long way. The Alpha leads the way. Close start, much closer this time around. Ingle with the inside. Turn 2. And look for Cameron to get a run here, get down the inside and challenge at turn 3.
Tony Delberto is on the outside. He's not ideally placed as they run down to 3. Ingle moves to cover the hard-charging VW with his stablemate in Aaron Cameron. Great start by Dylan O'Keefe. From what we saw in the commentary box, the front wheels for Russell Ingle got a little bit of tyre smoke as he gassed it up, put that 420 newton metres of torque, 350 horsepower to the ground and tried to stay with Dylan O'Keefe off the line.
Third place is still being argued about behind Ingle. Cameron's going the long way on Delberto at turn 3, and turn 4 now is where they're at. This is allowing the Alpha to just sneak away. Delberto's hung on. Cameron's out wide. He's lost ground. Morecambe's got him. Jordan Cox has got him. And now he's in the pack with Will Brown and James Moffat. But again, second race in a row, Alpha gets the jump, Alpha gets the break, Alpha builds a lead.
Will Brown's thrown caution to the wind, Noons. He's up to 7th position at the moment. Lots of attitude coming from that Hyundai. His teammate, of course, Nathan Morecambe in 4th place, doing a nice job right now. Have they found a solution, a compromise, a way of dealing with the brakes? It seems that the kid is just going for it. On board with him. Through turn 3 now, that they open it up, get these turbocharged power plants right open on the run down to turn 3. The big long straight here at Queensland Raceway. Cameron a little bit on the back foot. He's in 6th position after losing that, coming through the mid part of the circuit, getting a little ragged out into the dirty stuff. But we know that car is quick, that VW.
On board with Moffat. That's Cameron. The Volkswagen that we expected to really get up and run, but got shuffled back. The reigning KZ2 champion is what I was trying to say from karting earlier on. But he's under fire here. Moffat in the Renault, right with them. Ingles got away from the pack. He's starting the hunt for Dylan O'Keefe. Delberto's next. Then it's Nathan Morecambe in the Hyundai. This is a rare weekend where the i30N has not been a real factor, challenging for the podium. If you've just joined us, brakes have been the big issue here this weekend in the races. O'Keefe leads the way, 2 laps down, 1.1 seconds. The margin back to Russell Ingle in the Audi. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Russell Ingle in the Audi. It's a bit different.
Sure is. O'Keefe, mighty on the cold rubber, the relative cold rubber in the opening part of this race. The lead is 1.1 seconds. So we ride with Jordan Cox in the other Alfa Romeo, position number 5 at the moment. That's Nathan Morecambe, defensive in the Hyundai. Then moves back on to what he hopes will be an ideal line through turn 3 here.
Great chance to have a listen to this Alfa Romeo Giulietta Veloce. How good are you going? No, sorry.
That's very good.
We've got a weekend we haven't slipped it in there. Now we have. Great to jump on board. All these cars, left-hand drive. This is turn 5. Paddle shift, gearbox on the steering wheel, and he's still chasing Nathan Morecambe in that HMO Customer Racing Hyundai. Times at the line that time. Another 1/10 of a second to O'Keefe. Good fight here. Brown and Moffat continuing the battle. Turn 1 awaits. Position 7 is on the line, and it's Brown's now. He's through.
Teammates looking pretty good as well, so maybe they did find something at Hyundai, a little solution for this final one of the weekend. Good performance from Nathan Morecambe. There's Tony Delberto, Morecambe who we were just talking about, Jordan Cox and Aaron Cameron on the recovery. Fastest lap of the race belongs to O'Keefe. 1 minute 15.33 as you ride with Moffat on the inside, trying to go around the 30, so he's ideally placed for the next one. Not able to get close enough.
O'Keefe with that margin. Then Ingle. The fight for third is a good one. D'Alberto, Morecambe, Cox and Cameron all together. Margin back to Brown, Moffat, John Martin, Leanne Tander, Jason Bright 11th. Then Jordan Mickles and then Aaron Seaton. If you missed the news, last minute deal today for Aaron Seaton to take over the race-winning Audi from yesterday. Jean-Carl Vernet, the Frenchman, withdrawn today. We're on board with James Moffat here in the Renault Megane. He is equal third in the series on points with D'Alberto, with one race to come this weekend. D'Alberto sits third. Moffat is back now. Back in the pack, P8.
Just to your point on Aaron Seaton, it looks like he's about a second to a second and a half a lap quicker than the opening race. So the learning curve massive. It's a real baptism for him. But a guy with some great potential in Australian motorsports, son of a legend, as we talked about on the grid, and he has grabbed this with both hands.
Well, this time last weekend he was here at Queensland Raceway, but in a Touring Car Masters Mustang. Just a slightly different car to an Audi RS3 TCR car. Remember, his day job is at DJR Team Penske. He's a mechanic at the reigning Supercars champion team, the Shell V-Power race team. But of course, he's a young driver with plenty of talent from Toyota 86s, and he's done Speedway, and he's had a go in a range of different cars. He was here, Glenn Seaton, his dad, they're here today. Then he got the call to say, hey, would you like to come and drive a race car? Okay, and for a guy that's never sat in one, he's at the tail of this queue. There he is, that blue Audi, running with drivers who've driven these cars all year.
Grabbed a customer suit that they had for their ride program, I think it was.
Was it yours?
Borrowed some boots and a helmet, and away he's gone. And he's staying in touch here at the moment with Jordan Mickles.
On board here with Moffat. John Martin's got by. The Honda Civic Type R is in front on the run through turn 1, lap 6 of 21. Half-hour timed races in TCR Australia. O'Keefe leads the way by 1.8 seconds, just building that margin back to Russell Ingle. Back of the shot there, that's Molly Taylor in the Snap-on Tool Subaru from Kelly Racing. Here's the fight for second. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth is Moffat. When you can fit 10 cars into one shot, that says the field is tightly bunched.
And
fastest
Will
car
Brown,
on the road,
exactly.
though, I was about to say, you beat me to it, is Will Brown.
1 minute 14.3. He is flying at the moment. The championship leader will grab a commercial break. Stay with us, whatever you do. More from Queensland Raceway in just a few moments.
Good fight here, Greg. Will Brown is starting to get into the game a little more, closing in on Jordan Cox in the fight for position 6. We jump on board the Hyundai i30N. When it's an i30, it should be number 30, and that's indeed what it is as we're looking through the zero. He's zeroing in on Jordan Cox in the Alfa Romeo. And this is the run down to turn 3, the end of the back straight, where these cars are over 200 kilometres per hour. John Martin there for Honda Civic Type R. Has been doing some laps this weekend in the S5000 open wheeler.
I don't think that would have taken much arm twisting knowing John Martin either. So.
No, definitely not. The problem there for Will Brown on the exit of turn 4. He ran a little wide and it opened the door for John Martin to pounce. The Honda moves on through to grab 7th place. Those two made contact yesterday down here at the final turn, and they both ended up in the pit lane for repairs. O'Keefe leading the way. He's got a nice margin, 2 seconds to Ingle, D'Alberto, Morecambe and Cameron. That's the top 5 in this final race.
Sectors popping up from different people that are pretty reasonable. Cameron through the final sector is the quickest man, so he's been able to get down to a 1 minute 14.72 in the Gulf. He's a couple of tenths when you put the overall lap together off what we're seeing from Will Brown in the second of the Hyundais, but still nice performance coming from that VW. If only he hadn't had that little moment coming through turn 5.
Looking here at Nathan Morecambe in the number 11 Hyundai, has been on the podium this year. Remember, they had a 1-2, he and Will Brown, earlier on in the year. Also found himself in a bit of drama in the first round at Sydney Motorsport Park with a couple of penalties in the racing there. But at the moment, Dylan O'Keefe has got control of this race. 2.1 seconds back to the chasing pack. Russell Ingall is holding a strong second place. This is Will Brown. At the moment, he sits position 8. In this race, that's good enough for 27 points. A win's worth 50. So, by my mathematics, which are good, but no, they're not that great, actually. It's a turnaround that will go towards Dylan O'Keefe to the tune of another 23 points. Great to have you with us here at Queensland Raceway, live on SBS. It's round 4, race 3 in the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. We're watching the fight for the final podium positions. Dylan O'Keefe is our race leader in the Alfa Romeo. Russell Ingall second in the Audi. Tony D'Alberto third. Contact here. John Martin making a move on Jordan Cox for position 6. Contact on the exit of turn 3, and the Honda moves on through. The Alfa goes back a spot. He's under fire too. The series leader, Will Brown, is trying to round up the Alfa just behind. We're watching him out of our commentary box window, and there is that fight. The two white cars, the Alfa and the i30N Hyundai. Leanne Tander just behind. Dylan O'Keefe leads, 2.2 seconds. Fight for the minors, that's where it's at.
An update from the lane. Here's Cameron.
I've just got Todd Kelly with me at the moment. Todd, Kelly racing under the pump. You've had a turbo changeover and then a drive shaft as well. You must be happy with how the team's responded.
Yeah, the guys have done an amazing job. Both circumstances, the car was red hot, and they've got in and done it with only seconds to spare both times. So, incredible job. I didn't think it was going to be this hard, this category, but it's certainly given us a hard time between the misfiring issues we've had and wiring limbs and bits and pieces, but the cars are getting better. So if we can just have a clean weekend without these problems, it should yield us a result.
And good that you got to enjoy the S5000 as well. Good luck with this race.
Thank you.
Baz, hey, we're having a chat this morning. You said Sundays are your bad days so far this year. Looks like your luck could turn around.
We're a little jumpy when we come to the last race because we haven't had a terrible lot of luck with it this year. So far, I mean, the fat lady hasn't sung yet, but I mean, we're looking all right. A bit of oil's been dropped by Molly getting around, so that makes it a bit more treacherous, but I think we're looking all right. Cross fingers, so we'll be all right. Big beers and back slaps in about 20 minutes, boys.
We cannot wait to see that. Thanks, Baz.
It's always good for a quote, Barry Hay. Bad news, Molly Taylor's back in the pit lane in the Subaru WRX, and she's probably going to have to step out of that car. The bonnet's up, and there's plenty of smoke coming out of it. Fight here between Jordan Cox and Will Brown for 7th and 8th. It is the Alfa Romeo of Dylan O'Keefe, our winner of the race earlier on in the day, that leads the way. 2.25 seconds. We're at half race distance, and here is the action with Kelly Racing. They have been busy with not just this car, but the other Subaru that they were running earlier in the season for Andre Heimgartner. And it's a big steep learning curve for Molly Taylor, moving into circuit racing, the former Australian rally champion. She's only got one more round in TCR. She'll be at Winton next time out, but then the last 2 rounds at Sandown and the Bend clash with her rallying commitments. So we only get to see Molly one more time in TCR this year.
Got to see her in the other Subaru that she competes in at a rally in Tasmania very recently, and she was in fantastic form. So hard luck here. We wish her well in Ballarat at the next round of the championship, the Eureka Rally. Meantime, the lead is 2.3 seconds for Dylan O'Keefe over Russell Ingall. Tony D'Alberto still holding down that third place. Now, we wondered what it was. We covered it with him if you've just joined us in the gap between races 2 and 3. We thought it might have been a braking scenario. In fact, Russell could tell that Tony was struggling with understeer in the previous race. So, a bit of tyre management going on in this one. Will Brown, no worries as far as tyre management is concerned. The kid is having a crack in car 30. The championship leader, position 8, and hustling, chasing Jordan Cox. More from Cam.
Molly Taylor, unfortunate yet again. What's happened?
Yeah, well, we had a slight oil leak after we changed the turbo, so that obviously has gotten progressive. I can see a little bit of smoke in the first race, but it's gotten worse, and to the point that, yeah, it's not safe to be out there with oil dripping over the track. So, yeah, back in. Luckily, it's not on fire, so that's all good.
All right, hard luck.
Thanks.
Still putting on a smile.
Yeah, real shame, isn't it? We're right on board here with Jordan Cox in the Alfa Romeo. Runs position 7, driving for Gary Rogers Motorsport, great history with GRM and Alphas. Remember Stephen Richards drove one back in the Super Touring days, back in your era, Rusty.
I do remember that, long before grey hair. That was a great period for that style of racing in this country, and we've really enjoyed the freshness of this in 2019. And you may have heard our chat before with the managing director of the series before, Matt Braiders. Up the inside, Will Brown has a look at Cox. Cox keeps that flow, that momentum, that rolling speed through the final turn, and it works. He comes out back ahead of Will Brown. So Brown just trying to rattle him, trying to shake Jordan Cox, but the guy who's stepped into TCR from classes, if you like. They don't quite have the horsepower, but he's got a huge amount of experience with front-wheel drive. He is not rattled by the series leader.
The wide line at turn 6 is the little invitation that Will Brown keeps on trying to take, but he can't quite get in the gap deep enough, and that's the situation he was in with John Martin yesterday in race 1 of this weekend. And there was contact made. It was put down to be a racing incident. Neither party was wholly or solely responsible for what unfolded there, and the series leader is trying hard. Remember, there's been braking issues with these I-30Ns. We've gone past half race distance in this final race, and we've talked about how he's not been able to progress further through the field. Looks like we're seeing a bit of that now too.
Yeah, definitely. He's not short of having maxing it out here. I think he's having a real good dip at this. It's Will Brown. So let's just see if he can keep going, because really we've got under 9 laps to go now. He again shows the nose. Cox takes that slightly wider line in the Alfa Romeo and has that rolling speed, gets off the final turn nicely. We go to his teammate, Will Brown's teammate in car 11. That's Nathan Morcom holding down P4 and knocking on the door of Tony D'Alberto in third. So Tony felt with the re-pressure of those tyres on the Honda, it might be in a bit better shape. And I think clearly, Noons, he's just waiting, playing a game. You're not using up all that tyre before the end of this race. Let's see if he's got a little something for Russell Ingall.
Those lights are still flashing from Aaron Cameron's car. He's tried it on Ingall. He's trying it on Morcom. He's trying it with just about everybody out there at the moment. Morcom's best result this year, a second place in the final race at Phillip Island.
Again.
And again, Brown. He's deep at turn 3. He's at the point here with 8 laps left to run. He just got to bring it home. Get some points here. Don't punish these breaks to the point where he gets nothing, because it's 78 points between he and Dylan O'Keefe. If O'Keefe wins, Brown doesn't finish, another 50-point swing, 28 between them before our next round at Winton. One of the Renaults in the back of the pack there. In fact, it's James Moffat off the road and turn 5.
He's got damage. Yeah, puncture or something. I think they're right rear. Yep.
So bad enough day. Pither's in the pits and didn't get to start this race. And now Moff is limping.
He'll get it back to the lane. Just on your point in relation to Hyundai, obviously Bob Riley works in that team, has done with the Morcom family for some time. See if we can see
I had a look at the left side skirt, or the right side there. There's scorch marks there. It's always hard when the car's got black as part of its livery. But I'm sure the guys in the lane will get us an update on what's unfolded there from Moffat. But he slowed on the exit of turn 5 and he dropped down and in pit lane.
I was just going to say in relation to Bob Riley, obviously ran the Mitsubishi Rally Art program for many years, has worked with the Morcom family in various racing projects over time, and is embedded with some very good people in this Hyundai TCR program in Australia here. So just wondering what the team are telling the series leader at the moment, because you rightly pointed out it's the championship they want him to perhaps think about today. So is Will Brown going to just have to play it safe in 8th, because he's been going really hard in this one in the pursuit of points.
Here's Moffat in the lane, and you'll notice with the TCR cars, the single wheel nuts, individual wheel nuts is what I'm trying to say. Will Brown here, this is a replay, look at this. Under brakes, very nearly hitting the back of Jordan Cox. He mentioned it to you, didn't he, before this race, about how close he came a few times to touching some other cars under brakes. He came very close there.
He looked stressed. They were bleeding the brakes, and you don't often see that with Will Brown. He's got such a fun nature. He's always kind of bouncing around like the Energizer Bunny, isn't he? So, but the stress of the moment, you could tell. Back to Cameron, sits in 5th position in that VW Golf. Morcom mid-track. I think Cameron stopped that flashing of the lights now, because I don't think it's working. It's a tactic that's not working.
O'Keefe's lead is 1.7 seconds, 6 laps to go. here at Queensland Raceway, back on board with John Martin, the Honda. So he's just recovering his weekend. He's up to 6th. Remember that he had a drama yesterday with Will Brown and finished a lap down and had to work his way up through the progressive grid today. Moffat rejoining the race. Cam, have you got some more on what happened with this Megane?
Yeah, contact caused that right rear flat on the Megane, guys. So Moff back out on track now with a new right rear tyre. Now, I'll also add, I jumped in with the HMO customer racing team and just checked in as to how Will Brown was going. Car's fine, brakes are okay. They're just struggling for straight line speed this weekend.
Which is something we talked about in between race 2 and 3. So that'll be a topic that I think I'll follow with interest between now and the next round at Winton. Will actually felt that at Winton the car would be in better shape just knowing the nature of the country Victorian circuit. We can't wait for you to join us for that one. If you're in that part of the world, up around Albury, Wangaratta, Shepparton, come and join us for the next round of TCR. You'll really enjoy it at the end of the month and beginning of September.
And the reason why I'm looking forward to it, Greg, is it's a different type of track to everything we've done this year. Sydney Motorsport Park, Phillip Island, the Bend and Queensland Raceway, faster speeds. Winton's about the slow corners and about getting drive off the second gears and the 90-degree corners. So completely different style to what we've been playing with so far this year. So that might bring a few other cars and drivers into the mix that have got cars that don't shine on tracks like this one or like Phillip Island.
Hey, just want to shine a light for a moment on Aaron Seaton. He's managed to get down to a 1 minute 15.4. He sits 12th in this race, and he is matching. He's going toe-to-toe with Jordan Mickles, who admittedly is new to this Australian series here, but has driven TCR machinery before, has had the benefit of Friday practice, Saturday qualifying and things like that. He steps straight into that car. That's a great job on balance by Aaron Seaton.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yep.
Third-generation racer, of course. His grandfather Barry, the Bathurst winner in 65. His dad Glenn, a Hall of Famer in the Supercars Hall of Fame, and the two-time Australian touring car champ. Jump on board with the number 4 Audi. And this kid, he's got it. There's a lot of kids with the surname but don't quite have the skill set. He works hard. They don't have huge amounts of money. He's done anything he can and got in any car that he's been able to get into where he can to build the experience. He's done some of the test driving and the aero testing for the Ford Mustang supercar for DJR Team Penske. He's done a very nice job jumping into that car. Here's the other Audi with Russell Ingall behind the wheel. P2, 1.6 seconds away from the lead, but he hasn't really just been able to get onto the back of the Alpha. Emma?
Joe Sasso on the radio to Russell Ingall. Just 4 laps to go. My question to you is, can you catch him?
He's doing everything he can. He closes the gap, but then Dylan responds. So if he's consistent and keeps doing what he's doing, he's got a chance of doing it, but it's up to Dylan to make a mistake at this stage.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck.
Russell's worked with a number of good engineers in the pit lane, including Barry Hay, who is looking after that lead car of Dylan O'Keefe. But Sasso knows him well, so in terms of being able to what to tell Russell to motivate him, I don't think there's any more motivation needed. Ingall is, chasing a guy that's far younger than him, but driving out of his skin again this weekend, just like he did at Tailem Bend. Fantastic to have him a part of the series.
Yeah, it's really great, isn't it? 3 laps left to go, and it's settled down into a bit of a pattern here. Will Brown is 8th. He just needs to bring it home. Get those 27 points, put them in your kit bag, and go to Winton in a few weeks' time. Father's Day weekend for the Winton round of Car Sales TCR Australia. Round 5 of 7 this year for our inaugural series. Brown still keeping with Jordan Cox in the Alpha.
Great Father's Day present.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you need to leave pass, send us a note on social media. We'll give you one. Come to the track.
Oh, wow. The mailbox is going to fill up this week.
Here we go.
Should I give out your email address now?
No, don't. Please don't. Cameron.
We're nearly home with this one, all jokes aside. Only 2 laps to go. O'Keefe's done a beautiful job here. He's going to replicate what he did at Phillip Island and grab a couple of wins for the weekend. But he's got himself back in the game. I really thought with that points lead coming into this weekend that he could nearly kiss goodbye to that series. But it goes to show things can turn so unbelievably quickly.
Most definitely. Watching Leanne Tander holding down 9th position at the moment. She's doing 1 minute 15.1. She's almost into the 14s. That's pretty good when you consider that the likes of Will Brown, fastest of the race, is a 14.3 for him. So just almost into that 1:14 marker as we near the end of this race.
And Leanne's really keen to try to put together a program and do this full-time TCR next year. It's been a while since she's done a full-time racing program. Remember, she's been the Formula Ford National Series champ. She did Formula 3. She was runner-up in the Gold Star. And, of course, her husband Garth's done a couple of appearances this year in TCR. There's Leanne in that silver Audi. Car number 3. I mean, her fastest lap of the race, Rusty's a 15.1. Russell Ingles and the other Audi's a 15.0. There's not much between them at all.
If I know her husband Garth Tander, who's busy with other television commitments today, there will be a little monitor on with the coverage of TCR. Good stuff. So we're nearing the finish of this one. Great management by the team running that car of Dylan O'Keefe. It's 1.4 seconds as again we see Will Brown knocking on the door, telling Jordan Cox, come on, I need to get this done. I want that little bit extra in terms of points. So at the moment, Brown is sitting in 8th position. That's 27 points. He can get another 2 if he manages to get past Jordan Cox. Now, he does have a buffer, a points lead up his sleeve, but the momentum, the confidence that O'Keefe will take out of this weekend, that's going to be key, and Brown knows that.
Yeah, he's just got to bring it on home here. He doesn't need to do anything silly here. We're just looking back in the order. Aaron Seaton's got by. Jordan Mickles now for position 11 on the run home. Last lap at Queensland Raceway. There's Ingle, P2. D'Alberto looking for that podium that he gave away yesterday when he slipped off the road. Barry Hay, the team from FC Wood Motorsport, watching on, waiting to get home. A couple of corners left, and they've got the job done. And come roaring back into the title fight in the car sales TCR Australia Series. Checkered flag is waiting at the start-finish line. Dylan O'Keefe is looking for win number 4 this year to equal the most number of wins in 2019. He's at the final turn. The Alfa Romeo is flying. Beautiful job. O'Keefe wins race 3. Ingle 2nd. D'Alberto 3rd. Morecambe 4th. Smiles all round at ASM. So there should be. An Alfa wins from an Audi, a Honda, a Hyundai, a Volkswagen. 5 different cars in the top 5 positions in race 3 at Queensland Raceway. The rest of the field flashing through. Aaron Seaton finished 11th. When he turned up to the track today, he didn't even have a drive. Funny how things can quickly change, but for this guy, Dylan O'Keefe, 50 more points towards his series total. Great job. Let's head down to the lane with Cam.
I've got a very happy Barry Hay, mate. You can't ask for much more than from your driver.
Mate, we were trying to do this at Phillip Island and we rolled the thing up in a ball, made it look like a mini moke. So we've been fighting hard. We've come back for another go and he's ticked all the boxes. What a superstar.
Mate, you've been looking at this series, haven't you? You've been working with him to think about the long game.
Yeah, we've sort of... The only way short term doesn't work. It's consistency that gets you there, and that's where you see a movement in the championship all the time. So we just got to keep our eye on the prize long, keep consistent, and just keep banging them out one after the other. So go, Dylan.
Well done, Baz.
Thanks, buddy.
And that's win number 4 for the team with the Alfa Romeo this year. Let's recap how they finished in race 3. Dylan O'Keefe, the winner from Russell Ingles. So trophies in all 3 races for Russell this weekend. He should come back and do it again when we go to Winton in a few weeks' time. Tony D'Alberto on the podium in the Honda Civic Type R. Nathan Morecambe next from Aaron Cameron. Cameron, in fact, set one of the fastest laps of the race early on. Will Brown ended up with the fastest lap. He finished in 8th. Leanne Tander 9th. Jason Bright. Didn't see much of him in that one. P10. Seaton next from Mickles and Rouleau. Alexandra Whitley started from the pit lane. That was good to see her back on the track. Moffat with dramas in the Renault, and Molly Taylor with more issues, the Subaru, a retirement from race 3 here at Queensland Raceway. Let's have a look at the highlights in the 3rd and final race. 21 laps around the paperclip, and it was pretty close at the front. O'Keefe, Ingle, D'Alberto, 3 wide on the way down to turn 1, but quickly the Alfa Romeo got rolling quickly. Martin out through the grass on the run down the Dick Johnson front straight. Turn 3 was the place where the fight was on. Will Brown, James Moffat, the Renault Megane trying to get the long way around the series points leader, who, by the way, has had his margin trim back to 55 points. It was 125 heading here this weekend. Moffat racing hard with Martin in the Honda. There'd be some dramas for the Renault, more dramas for Molly Taylor. They changed the turbo on the Subaru before the race, but she ended up back in pit lane. And a retirement from this one. Brown having a few looks at Jordan Cox in the Alfa Romeo. Couldn't quite get the move done. Tried a few times. And was pretty deep under brakes on plenty of occasions. The young gun from Toowoomba. Moffat in after some contact. Right rear, tyre change. The Michelin was damaged, so they fired a new one on. He finished the 15th in the race and 1 lap down in the end. Brown kept the pressure on Jordan Cox in the Alpha, could not get it done. He finished in position number 8, but up front, Dylan O'Keefe, another win for the Alfa Romeo, 2 in a row today at Queensland Raceway, and Russell Ingall on the podium for the 3rd time in 3 races here at Queensland Raceway. Hugs all round, they're back in the title fight. Rusty, good stuff from ASM and Ashley Wood's team.
Absolutely, Noons. Couldn't have said it any better. And Barry Hay said to both of us at the opening round of the championship at Sydney Motorsport Park, man, am I impressed with this guy. 4th race win for you and a really solid weekend. That's cool for the championship.
Yeah, it's a credit to the boys at ASM. I couldn't have done it without them. Their attention to detail is awesome, but just try to keep my head calm. It's hard with the enforcer behind you. Barry was his engineer back when he won the championship, so he knows how hard he races, and I was just trying to build a gap early, look after the car, and leave something at the finish. So really happy. Couldn't do it without my sponsors. I was only meant to do the first round, but look, here I am. So I'm at round 4, and now we're in title contention. So I hope to be able to do the rest of the year, and I'll be driving my hardest.
Give me a sense, and everyone watching, of what this means to you. You are in the game here, you're driving superbly, and give us a sense of the confidence it gives you going into the next round.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I mean, doing a great job, but so are the team, so it's a reward to them also. So I'm doing a lot of driving at the moment, and it's showing. So try and keep the momentum building, and looking forward to Winton, which is the next round.
He's a young man who's loving the moment, and we've got some good news for you, because there is a number 1 trophy coming your way. Ben Maher, Director of Michelin Motorsport Asia Pacific, presenting the trophy to Dylan O'Keefe, who does it again here at Queensland Raceway. Awesome performance. And speaking of that, 3 races, and if my math is correct, that's 3 trophies for you for the weekend. How good?
I know why they got these guards like this, so you can sit on it. Because I'll tell you what I needed. I had to work for that one. Isn't it ironic? We got Barry Hay and Matty Black, who worked on my championship-winning 2005 supercar. They're working on that, and it's number 9 with O'Keefe. So how's that for a horror?
I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, and it looks like they tuned that up as good as they tuned my SBR Falcon up. So, look, good race. I thought I was tracking him down in that 2nd race, or the 1st race today, and I thought I'd do the same, but they must have tuned it up. I couldn't actually get to him, but good fight off the start with Tony. It was pretty hairy through, but I wasn't going to feed him off. He's a good mate. So.
I know you'll relish and enjoy the trophy here, Russ, but you'll also do a bit of navel gazing. We saw the front wheels spin up at the start. Was it just a fraction too much? Is that what hurt you in the start?
Yeah, we changed the clutch in it for the Sunday at the bend, and ever since I changed the clutch, I just can't get a good start. I've got a couple of bursters on the Sunday of the bend, so it's just a clutch thing, and they're so finicky, you know. It's a really fine line, because obviously driving from the front, cold tyres. But it's all experimenting, but thoroughly enjoyed the weekend. Crew did a great job, so thanks to Castro and Melbourne Performance for inviting me back again, and TCR Australia, of course. But I'll tell you what, there's some good drivers, seriously good drivers out there, and this category is teaching them how to race and go fast, that's for sure.
Will we see you at Winton, yes or no?
The body says yes. We'll just see what the outer forces say.
All right. Well, the outer forces, the fans say yes. So we hope to see you there. And here is a trophy to be presented to Russell Ingall, the enforcer. Ben Maher, Director of Michelin Motorsport Asia Pacific, 3rd place. Car number 50. The team at Honda in a special year for Honda in Australia will be delighted with another podium. But I sense in you wanted more. 3rd, it's probably not quite enough for you.
Oh, look, all weekend we get ourselves in contention for a podium, and then wouldn't be able to look after the tyre enough. But the guys made some really good changes to the car then. It was so much better than the race before, as we spoke about. So, I got a few podiums early in the year, and then I forgot where the podium was, and good to be back.
Next round's at Winton. You know that place pretty well. You reckon it'll suit the Honda?
I hope so. I say that every round, but, we are learning every time we go to a new track. But just really happy for the guys. We had no mechanicals all weekend. The car ran really strong. Wally's not here this weekend, so maybe that's the difference. G'day, Wally. How you going, mate? Yeah, but just great to get back on the podium for Honda and all of my sponsors. So, yeah, really happy.
Hey, we've got a little trophy for you for 3rd place. Maybe it'll be a 2nd or a 1st at the next round of the championship. Ben Maher, Director of Michelin Motorsport Asia Pacific. That is Tony D'Alberto wrapping up, getting 3rd place and wrapping up what's been a super weekend here at Queensland Raceway. We hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, that is the halfway mark of this incredible series. Car Sales, TCR Australia. Our next stop is less than a month away, only a few weeks. We will see you at Winton Motor Raceway in northern Victoria, not far from the border. We hope you'll come along and catch all of the action, and if you can't, you'll see it all right here live on SBS. For the team, I'm Greg Rust. Bye for now.